Any woman showing anything, they're gonna, oh my God, look at you, you're such a beautiful goddess, oh this and that. And that is detrimental to our society, because the problems that we want to blame on women, really men are creating. Men are not taking the time out to discipline themselves and be honest, balanced, and disciplined enough to talk to women to a point where they can actually respect them as men. Men for the most part either talking very disrespectful to women, and overly talking to women in a negative fashion, or they're over pandering to women and they're trying to make women feel good and saying things they want to hear in hopes to get between their legs. And those men, the latter, are much worse, because those men, like I said, they prop up, they give a false. You see about how inflation is in money. When they print up a bunch of money and how it's ruining the economy, it's the same thing with women. When you put out a bunch of attention is the currency for women. I know that's been said, but it's true. Attention is currency for women. So when you overinflate the currency of attention through social media, through whatever it may be, what it does is it gives women a false sense. A lot of women have a false sense of ego. A lot of women are promoting themselves or waiting out for the love of their life, believing that because they're getting this attention that they're deserving of it, when they haven't done anything to, not whether you're a man or a woman, whatever you want in life is what you put in. You can't be putting in nothing, or not taking care of yourself, or not mentally taking care of yourself, physically taking care of yourself, and expect to get somebody in return who's doing that, and that person's gonna live. It doesn't work like that. In reality, you get what you put in. Peace, love, life, balance. What's going on, family? This is your host, Chief Jamal, coming right back at you. And I want to talk to y'all about a topic that's often, ridiculed or made to be funny, but it's really not. It's really not a laughing matter. Not saying everybody takes a laughing matter, but it's really not a laughing matter. Because it's basically the foundational amongst the people. I know there's other things that are worse, whatever, but amongst the people, it is the foundational issue, the foundational problem, the foundational cause of a lot of problems that's going on today, whether it be in relationships, dating market, whatever it may be, and that is simping. Okay, simps. I'm not gonna call out like the way that everybody else calls them out. This isn't a video about that, but you have to understand the dangers of simping and pandering. All right, we have too many men just as bad, and I know those who follow me, I get on the toxic masculinity guys, even though there's no such thing as toxic masculinity, it's masculinity, and amongst masculinity, you got people who may be toxic. But on the guys who promote the so-called toxic atmosphere, the hate women crap, the BS, those guys are bad, but they're not the worst problem. The worst problem by far are the simps, are the panderers, are the weak men who who tell women what they want to hear, who pander to women. And because women by nature are more emotional, they seek more attention. They're more inclined to believe stuff that is, more delusional. They're not as logical as men. They have other characteristics that are better enough to balance each other out, but they're just not for the most part. So it is very dangerous when you have men. That's why I say, you see a consistent theme with me. I understand you guys that complain about women, that some of the issues may be true, but we have too many issues amongst men. Way too many issues amongst men. And this is a major issue, especially amongst the black power community and the black community. We have too many men still playing that playbook because they're selfish men. They just want to sleep with these women or be admired by these women. And real men have balance. That's my challenge to balance. Real men are able to talk to women respectfully, show women love, but also correct women in a proper fashion. even if it's uncomfortable for them, because the truth is going to be uncomfortable. But those men who pander to women, men who just say what women want to hear, who so-called male feminists, who are bitches anyway, those men are a problem. Those men are the main issue. Those men, really, what they do is they prop up a false image of the dating market. They overinflate the egos of women and create delusion in women that they can go out and just get any man they want, because they can go to their inbox, they can go to their pictures, and they can see that they got all these guys liking them, and they may not even be, you know, a woman that's going to be desirable to most men. But men on the internet, they can express their thirst. Men think with their little head first, most of them. So any woman showing anything, they're gonna, oh my God, look at you, you're such a beautiful goddess, oh this and that, and that is detrimental to our society, because the problems that we want to blame on women, really men are creating. Men are not taking the time out to discipline themselves and be honest, balanced, and disciplined enough to talk to women to a point where they can actually respect them as men. Men for the most part either talking very disrespectful to women, and overly talking to women in a negative fashion, or they're over pandering to women, and they're trying to make women feel good and saying things they want to hear in hopes to get between their legs. And those men, the latter, are much worse, because those men, like I said, they prop up, they give a false. You see about how inflation is with money. When they print up a bunch of money and how it's ruining the economy, it's the same thing with women. When you put out a bunch of attention is the currency for women. I know that's been said, but it's true. Attention is currency for women. So when you overinflate the currency of attention through social media, through whatever it may be, what it does is it gives women a false sense. A lot of women have a false sense of ego. A lot of women are promoting themselves or waiting out for the love of their life, believing that because they're getting this attention that they're deserving of it, when they haven't done anything to, not whether you're a man or a woman, whatever you want in life is what you put in. You can't be putting in nothing, or not taking care of yourself, or not mentally taking care of yourself, physically taking care of yourself, and expect to get somebody in return who's doing that. And that person's going to lift you. It doesn't work like that. In reality, you get what you put in. But if you're under delusion, you're going to think that, well, I just deserve it. Look at all these guys that's in my inbox. Look at all these guys giving me attention. Look at all these guys who want to date. Look at all these guys on my OnlyFans. So because of thirst and men just asleep in anything, most men in the society are undisciplined. They don't retain their seed. That's why I talk a lot about semen retention. Because of that thirst, it's propped the market up to where these women really actually believe that they have a bunch of options. It's the illusion of choice. What they do is they sit and wait, and then when their options, when they feel like it's time to settle, they think like, oh, I can just go into this pool of options of men and look at all these men that like me. But they start realizing that those men just want to have sex, or they were just doing it because it was a thing to do, or those men are not quality men, not the men they're looking for. When they start trying to concentrate, that's what made Kevin Samuels so big. Because when women start to concentrate on the men they actually want, in most cases, they're a lot of times they're too old at that time. They're not at the age they can produce children, or they're getting close to an age that's not going to be desirable for a man of quality. It's not a discriminatory or a hateful thing towards women. It's just biology. All you women got to realize that. Now, I don't agree with the way Kevin came a lot of times, but the stuff that he was saying, a lot of it was true. You can't live life off of a false sense of security. You can't live life off of a false sense of worth, because you will never get to your true worth if you don't actually truly be honest with yourself and analyze yourself. If you're walking around trying to speak something into existence that doesn't have a fine, listen. When you speak things into existence, the elements have to be there to create what you speak into existence in the first place. If there's no elements there, if there's no work there, that's why it says faith without works is dead. If none of that is present, then you're really just wasting your time. You're really just putting out a bunch of air, hot air. You're really not going to get what you're looking for, because all you're doing is trying to conflate yourself, and you're putting a placebo within your mindset to where you're getting a high off of the thought of accomplishing something, but you're not actually accomplishing anything. And you're going to end up settling for much less than what you wanted, or staying alone or staying lonely. And this goes for men too. It works both ways, but it's more so with men. A lot of men get a false sense of ego and false sense of inflation off of porn, or off of chasing women on the internet, or Instagram models, or they get an OnlyFans and they think that girl actually likes him, and he's paying money. So you got to understand that whether you're male or female, don't over-invest in vain attention. Don't over-invest in attention off of social media or popularity. How many movie stars y'all seen or something, or whether it be movie stars, whether it be actors, whether it be whoever it may be, an athlete, they're worth millions of dollars, they're very popular, and they get married and it don't work, because after a while, the allure of whatever you attracted them with is going to wear off, and you're going to need real substance, you're going to need real character, you're going to need real ability to make a relationship work. And if you don't have those things present, you're going to lose that person anyway. And then you start how you finish. If you attracted that person off of something that was vain, you're going to lose that person off of something that was vain. That's just how it is. So simping is a major problem, because it's the simping, or let's just put it in a more constructive terms, basically over inflating the value of undeserving women or men. Women can simp too. When you overinflate the value of women or men, we overinflate this value, it leads to destruction for that person. And a lot of times, people who simp are selfish. Like, they're not nice guys. Nice guys are not good guys. The difference between a good guy, the sister who posted this, and she was very wise. The difference between a good guy and a nice guy. Sister named Brittany, I know, posted that. Women don't like nice guys because nice guys are pretending. You know, a good guy is going to be a good guy, meaning he's going to do what's good. He might not sound good. He might not sound good to you or feel good, but he's doing what's good. A nice guy is just going to do what's nice. He's just going to do what, he's just going to go along to get along. He doesn't want to upset the apple cart. He doesn't want to be, he wants to stay friends. He's not going to do what's necessary because he has to maintain a false sense of being nice. And those type of guys are dangerous. They're way worse. They're the real misogynists. Because when you do that, you don't love, when you're not willing to correct somebody or be honest with somebody, you don't love them. You're only trying to prop them up for your use or to get what you want to get out of them, and then you're going to go to the next person. Simps are very selfish, and this is something that we should take more serious in society, because we have too many men who are rewarded for pandering, for going along with all these agendas that don't fit men. Or anytime a woman complains or puts out a false accusation, you get a bunch of what they call white knight simps coming along and trying to stand up, and they didn't do any research. They didn't talk to any side. They didn't use any logic. They just saw that they saw what the public was doing, which would be mostly women. There's more women than men, especially in social media. Women are more sociable. They just jump on board because they want to look good and shine to the women. They want to please. They want to show good to women. That's how Ahab was to Jezebel. Ahab wanted to please Jezebel. So you see a lot of men walking around with the spirit of Ahab. They want to just please their woman. Happy wife, happy life. You don't want to be a slave to pleasing a woman. Okay? You want to be about your purpose as a man. And if you're about your purpose as a man and you have a true purpose, that woman is going to be pleased by following a man that's about his purpose. She's going to be pleased on her own. That's why a lot of men that do that, they end up getting divorced, they end up getting left, and they complain about, oh, these girls just leave me. Then they'd be the same guys who turn into incels or turn to guys complaining on these sites. And really they cause their own pain by being a phony and being a simp. Simping is real easy. It's very easy to just go along and get. It's very easy to do what you think somebody wants to do, or to pander, give them everything they want. Some of you guys have went broke, and your bank, you have went broke and not even fed your own kids just to simp for a woman. It's just pathetic. And until that changes, women are going to continue to be more delusional. Men are going to continue to complain and bitch like bitches because they're not being masculine enough to stand up and take responsibility and say that, hey, I'm not going to criticize you, I'm not going to put you down, but I want to tell you the truth. So until that's done, nothing to change. But those who are real men and real women, you got to separate and do what's right. Peace, love, life, balance.